Hello everyone, and welcome to the unboxing and review of the Antique Anatomy Tarot by Claire Goodchild. So I actually really love this box. As you can see, there's a bit of a gold foil on the title, and it's just a really beautiful cover. I love flowers, so I love this floral thing, plus with a skull in here. It's actually kind of cool. So that's the box. You have the Antique Anatomy title on the side. The back has a bit of a paragraph, 80-page guidebook with full color photography, 78 illustrated tarot cards. Let's actually read this a little bit. So it says, oddities and curiosities await you in the Antique Anatomy Tarot. Enliven your readings with this exquisite deck of tarot cards, which feature vintage anatomical illustrations and delicate botanical drawings. The accompanying guidebook offers insight for every card and explores the many ways you can use the deck for self-discovery and personal growth. All right, and then I do love this on the side here. You have a bit of some images that are in the cards, making the box pretty beautiful, honestly. Okay, so it opens up like this. It's all in your hands. I love that. And then you have this beautiful floral texture on the insides as well. Here's one thing that I do wish there was a ribbon that I could pull to lift the book and the cards, but there isn't one, and that's okay, honestly. Not a huge deal breaker. Here we've got the backs. They look a little bit used and textured, which I like. It's not a perfect reversible, but honestly, the differences are so small that I'm not bothered by it, and I'm not bothered by even backs that are not reversible. I don't care about that, but I know some people do. So there we go. So then you have this beautiful, tuck part in here. Awesome. I actually really like this box. It's really pretty. Let's take a look at the book first. It's your 80-page guidebook, pretty big. And it's actually a pretty good guidebook. It's got quite a bit of information. So you've got, of course, a table of contents, beautifully illustrated with images of the cards. You go into introduction, a bit of history of tarot. So I think that's actually really cool, because you never know which decks are going to be somebody's first deck, or one of the firsts, their first exposure to tarot, for example. So I like this a lot, especially when you're using a deck that is so non-traditional like this one. It's good to have a bit of history background, I think, anyway. So then it explains a bit of the major and the minor arcana, the differences, what a pip deck is, and this deck is very pippish. What that means is pretty much like if you get the 5 of swords, which in this deck they call it the 5 of blades. You're pretty much getting 5 swords with very little imagery to accompany it. That's what a pip deck means. Numerology in the tarot, I love that. I love that this book brings that through. And it also gives companion cards at a glance. And here's a quick numerological association, which I like that a lot too. Astrology in the tarot, love this little chart over here too. So it doesn't give actually it does. It gives a whole lot of information. It's not paragraphs of it, but you don't need all that. This is pretty much what you need. Especially if you're just starting to learn, this is a quick glance. It's pretty awesome. Then you have the elements. So you've got earth, fire, water, and air elementals, and the color of the tarot. So as you can see, this book is very floral, and the deck is very floral as well. We're gonna go through that, and it gives you the colors. Now, and then we go into ways of using the tarot. Tarot spreads, meditation, dream interpretation, spell work, journaling. So that's actually really cool. If you're oh, tarot is just for divination, and you're oh wait, no, I can do all these different things. So that's pretty awesome. And then we go into how to care for your deck, initiating your deck. That's actually pretty cool. How to cleanse it, preparing an altar, or if you don't have an altar, but just a reading space, you can do that too. This desk that I'm using here, it's a office desk, but it is kind of my reading space as well. You have some spreads. You have a 1 card, 3 card spread. You also have the moon cycle spread. That's actually really cool. And then you have the Celtic Cross spread, which is pretty standard. Well, not standard. It is a very complex spread. But a lot of books have this, and it's kind of like the quintessential tarot spread, the Celtic Cross. And then you get into the major arcana. So how it works is you have two, like an image with two cards, and then the two cards are here. So the Fool and the Magician. You also get High Priestess, the Empress, and so on and so forth like that. It gives you the numerology, it gives you the astrological correspondence, it gives you the element, and it also gives you the companion cards. And some keywords in the bottom here. Now, here's one thing that really bothers me about this. Like I said, it's a really good book, and I really do like this deck. Now, here are some flowers. I am not very good, as much as I love looking at flowers, I don't know how to differentiate the flowers. For example, I don't know which flowers these are. I don't know what they're called. Personally, I don't know. Maybe you're looking at them going, oh, I know exactly what they are. You know, a lot of witches out there have like a green thumb, right? Like earth witches or green witches, whatever you identify as. I am not such witch. I find flowers to be really beautiful. But personally, I haven't learned their names and their correspondences. These to me look like daisies, but am I wrong? I don't know. I don't think so. Anyway, here's the thing. Let's say these are daisies, just for argument's sake. The book does not tell me which flowers these are, and it does not tell me why these flowers were chosen. Because I know in flower correspondences, flowers, plants, they all have a different meaning, right? I know that roses, for example, I think red roses are for passion, love, right? I think for pink roses, it's more like romance, maybe friendship, things like that. So that's a little bit that I know. But for example, here, there is like blue and these red flowers and these yellow ones. Why? Why were these flowers chosen? The book does not tell me that. And we saw here that it showed, it's very categorized, this book. You know, you have caring for the deck, you have the ways of using the tarot, you have the colors and the elements, which the colors will explain why the color of the flowers were chosen, but it doesn't explain why the flower itself was chosen. And I missed that in this deck. I really wish. Because as much as I don't know about flowers, I would love to learn. And I would love a deck that looks like this to teach me a bit more about that. So that is the only shortcoming I find this book to have, is that it doesn't tell me anything about the flowers other than the colors. So the major arcana gets pretty much like half of a page. Let's go to the minor arcana. So the minor arcana, right here, for example, this is the elixirs, which is a suit of cups. Here, for example, the 7 of elixirs, you have about 2 paragraphs and then the keywords. So you're not really getting the numerology, you're not really getting the elemental aspect. Well, you do have the elixirs, which you know it's cups, which you know it's water. Because it does explain in the, where is it? In the elements here, it does explain, like the air, suit of blades, earth, suit of coins, fire, suit of rods, and water, suit of elixirs. So you know which element it is, but it doesn't give you the astrological correspondence, which is fine. It's okay. Not that we all need it all the time. I'm okay with that. So there we go. So that's the book, and then it just ends with the little bit about the artist and the creator, and it ends here with the King of Blades. All right, so that's your book. I do love this cover, though. It's really beautiful. The images of this deck are actually really cool. It's a very, very interesting deck. Okay, so here are the backs one more time. You have the 4 elements here, or the 4 suits. The cardstock is pretty flexible, but you can tell it's like a good cardstock. It feels good. It's this matte finish. This is the King of Coins. Yeah, I find it to be really beautiful. Okay, So I will show you guys all of them. They are in order, and as you can see, it's a little bit used already. I've used it quite a few times. So I'm going to show you guys all of them. They are in order. If you don't want to see all of them, you can skip around, you can jump ahead, or you can skip this part altogether. Okay. So we're starting with the Fool, which we did see in the book. Now here's the thing, it says item, and then it's the item is the Fool, and then figure 0. And it goes like that for all of them. So item, the Magician, which is the title of the card, and then figure 1, which is the numerological correspondence. The High Priestess, which I gotta say, I mean, I didn't read the book fully, but I don't know why she's got so many teeth. Here we have the Empress, really beautiful. The Emperor, figure number 4. The Hierophant. See, even this plant, I don't know what plant this is. I don't know if these are meant to be like blueberries. I don't know what they are. And I'll be very honest with you. I don't know what they are. And I wish the book would really give that information out. The Lovers. We've got the Chariot. The Hermit. Justice. I do like this. It's like a half the brain, half the heart. I love that. I think it's so interesting. It's clever. I think it is anyway. The Hanged Man. We have Death. Now, as you can see, I really would not recommend this deck for a beginner. I guess I would recommend this for like more advanced, to be honest, because I think for you to be comfortable with this deck, one, if you are a beginner, like you really have to rely on the book. So if you're like, oh, I don't know what I'm getting, it's not your intuition failing you. It's just we all have to learn when it comes to tarot, right? We have to learn the numerology and the symbolisms and the titles and the keywords and like what all that means. This sun is really beautiful. I love that. And as you can see, like the moon looks similar, but it's like the back of the head, which I love that. It's like, but you see, like, because I know tarot so well, I love this back of the skull thing, because the moon is about the back of the head. It's about the back of the mind. It's about the subconscious. And the sun is like the front of the mind, how we show ourselves up to the world. And joy, happiness, looking forward. So these little subtleties, I find them to be really, really interesting. Here we've got Judgment. But maybe for a beginner, you would be a little bit lost, you know, as to, wait, what? Why is that? Why is that? So here we get into the suit of rods, which would be the wands. Also, that's another reason why I wouldn't recommend this for a beginner. It's like they change the name, and that can be a bit confusing. Also, as you can see, I already talked about it, what a pip deck is. This is it. You know, the 2 of rods, it's just 2 rods. The 3 of rods, it's 3 rods. 3 wands, whatever you want to call it. 4 is 4. So again, it doesn't give you a whole lot. Other than the flowers and the colors of the flowers, it doesn't give you a whole lot of information to go off of. These look like golf clubs. I don't know if they are golf clubs. They probably aren't, but they look like they are. And that's a little confusing to me. But I'm sure they're like medical items that I'm just not familiar with. So you've got the 8 of rods. Here's the 9 and 10. And then we get into the page of rods, which usually you're going to see a child's skull as the page, which makes sense because the pages have to do with immaturity and childlike. Here's the knight. We got the queen and we have the king. Now, when you see them all together like this, it's hard to identify like right away. Some decks are really good at that. This one, maybe not so much. Like right away to see, oh, that's the queen or the king of rods. You like really have to kind of read from the bottom. So here we have the elixirs, which would be the element, the suit of cups. I do love how it has like a love potion. That's so appropriate, and it gives you a clue of what the ace of cups or the one of elixirs means. I love this too. So you've got love tonic and passion tincture, which is totally two of cups or two of elixirs in here. The 3 is joy tonic, bliss elixir, and love potion. I love this. I think this is so clever. The 4, this one's a little bit more, a little darker. So you have arsenic, morphine, heroin, and cyanide for the 4 of elixirs. The 5, which is mourning. See, like you can kind of see that joy is here, but it's hidden because the 5 of elixirs, the 5 of cups, usually talks about heartbreak and mourning and not feeling great about life. So here you can kind of see the love potion, right? Like they look alike, but the love potion is hidden. Just like here, the joy is hidden by a leaf. So these little subtleties I find to be so clever and so interesting. But you kind of have to catch it, and you have to know, like, wait, why is joy hidden? Why isn't it shown? Well, because we're focusing on the negative ones versus the positive ones when it comes to the 5 of elixirs. So I found that to be just really clever and interesting. So here we've got the 6, which is, so it's a little bit harder to see because labs is so big, but you have for rekindling love, for past life regression, for uncovering secrets, for promoting harmony, for encouraging comfort, and I can't quite read what this one says. But yeah, so that's your 6 of cups. Here you've got the 7 of cups. You got a different element in all of them, which is, and this one is a hidden element, which is totally what if you know the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, you can see the cleverness of this deck. That was the 8. Here we've got the 9 of cups. Wish tonic, love potion, bliss, and joy. And of course the 10 of cups. Wisdom, dream, harmony. I think bliss is right here. I don't know why the bliss is hidden, but it is a little bit. And this one I can't read. I think this is supposed to be an L, like love maybe. I'm not sure why these 2 are very hidden, but they are. So dream, calming, happiness. Oh, love is right here again. Maybe that's not love. Maybe that's something else. I don't know. But yeah, so some are hidden, some are not. Then you have the eternal youth. I love that for the page. I think that's totally appropriate. Fertility tonic for the Knight of elixirs. Yep. The queen. And finally the king. Then we get into the suit of blades, which would be the suit of swords. This is the ace. You've got the 2. So I guess maybe the elixirs suit is easier to understand, but the suit of rods and the suit of blades is very different because there are no words. You know, the suit of elixirs had a lot of space for words that added to the meaning. This one, not so much. Got the 8 of blades, the 9 of blades, and the 10 of blades. Sorry, the 9 of blades. That's the 9 of blades. What am I talking about? I'm ahead of myself. And that's the 10 of blades. We go into the page. Actually, I noticed there's a lot of, right? This is white flowers. This is black flowers. White, black, white, and black. So I'm noticing that there's a lot more black and white in the blades. That's actually really interesting. So you go black, and then we go white, and then we go black again. Interesting. I don't remember what the book says about black and white, but we can check that out. So the suit of coins, or pentacles if you're not familiar. Sometimes the coins or the pentacles or the discs are the ones that I see that change the most when it comes from like deck to deck. Some people call it pentacles, some people call it coins, and some people call it discs. We've got the 5. Now these symbols here, I don't really understand. I mean, I do understand the 5 of coins. I mean, it's a little bit dramatic, but it's almost like this skull here is being disintegrated. And the 5 of coins has to do with loss. It has to do with like poverty and things like that. The 6 of coins is really more about equal energy exchange and giving and receiving. So I don't fully understand why the pelvis is here. And I think this is a vertebrae. These two are like vertebrae. I'm not sure why they're here. But I know what the 6 of coins means. So I can look at it and go, okay, I get what it is. The 7 of coins. Here we've got the 8. The 9. And the 10. Then we get into the page. Like I said, all the pages are like this child skeleton. We get the Knight of Coins, the Queen, and the King. So at first glance, again, like I said, you can't really tell the difference. Like if I was looking at it really quickly, I'd be like, wait, what's the difference? Who's who? But once you read it, you're like, okay, I get it. But I feel like I would have to read it until I maybe get super comfortable with this deck. And as much as I have used it, I always have to kind of like still read a little bit. All right, guys, so that's it. That's the unboxing and review of the Antique Anatomy Tarot. I hope you guys enjoyed this walkthrough. I hope you guys understood and I was clear with everything that I was saying. I do love this deck still. It's a beautiful deck. It's great. Very interesting. Even though it says antique, I kind of see it as very modern and like non-traditional. And I really, really appreciate that. And I love the artwork. Again, like I said, I do wish that the flowers, because they're everywhere and they're all over the deck, I do wish that they played a bigger part in the book. But again, I still love this deck and I hope you guys do too. Thank you so much and I'll see you guys next time.